Welcome back, explorers. Today, we're traveling deep into the heart of Borneo, one of the most biologically rich islands on Earth. Hidden within the vast forests of Central Kalimantan, Indonesia, lies a place few international travelers have ever heard of, yet conservationists consider it one of Southeast Asia's most important wilderness areas. This is Punggualas, a remote section of the Katingan landscape where ancient rainforests, blackwater rivers, and rare wildlife have survived for thousands of years. Join me as we journey into one of the last great wild frontiers of Borneo. Punggualas is located in the upper reaches of the Katingan River watershed in Central Kalimantan, Indonesian Borneo. Borneo is the third largest island in the world, shared by Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. The Indonesian portion, known as Kalimantan, covers roughly 73% of the island. The Katingan region forms part of a vast ecosystem stretching from coastal peat swamps to mountainous rainforests in the island's interior. What makes Punggualas unique is its extraordinary remoteness. Many areas can only be reached after long journeys by riverboat through dense tropical forest. There are no highways cutting through the wilderness and very limited human settlement. For scientists, this isolation is a blessing. It has allowed wildlife populations and natural ecosystems to remain relatively intact compared to many other tropical forests around the world. The forests of Punggualas are part of one of the oldest tropical ecosystems on Earth. Unlike forests shaped by glaciers during recent ice ages, Borneo's rainforests have existed continuously for millions of years. Over that immense span of time, plants and animals evolved into highly specialized species found nowhere else. The region contains a mix of lowland rainforests, river systems, freshwater wetlands, and peatland ecosystems. The Katingan watershed itself acts as a giant natural sponge. During heavy tropical rains, the forests absorb and store water, reducing floods downstream. During dry seasons, that same water is slowly released into rivers and wetlands. In other words, these forests don't just support wildlife. They help regulate entire ecological systems that millions of people depend upon. Despite its remoteness, Punggualas faces challenges familiar to tropical forests around the world. Deforestation, habitat fragmentation, illegal logging, and climate change continue to threaten ecosystems across Borneo. Peatland areas are particularly vulnerable. When peat forests are drained or burned, enormous amounts of stored carbon are released into the atmosphere, contributing to global climate change. This is why conservation efforts in the Katingan landscape attract international attention. Protecting these forests helps safeguard biodiversity, preserve water systems, support local communities, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In many ways, the future of places like Punggualas matters far beyond Indonesia. The health of tropical forests affects the entire planet. Long before conservationists arrived, indigenous communities lived alongside these forests. In the Katingan region, many residents belong to various Dayak groups, whose cultural traditions are deeply connected to the rivers and forests of Borneo. For generations, local communities have relied on fishing, gathering forest products, and sustainable farming practices adapted to the tropical environment. Their knowledge of plants, wildlife behavior, weather patterns, and river systems has been accumulated over centuries. Today, many conservation initiatives recognize that protecting forests and supporting local communities must go hand in hand. The future of places like Punggualas depends not only on wildlife protection, but also on ensuring that local people can continue benefiting from healthy ecosystems. Now comes the part many nature lovers have been waiting for: the wildlife. Borneo is considered one of the world's biodiversity hotspots, and Punggualas is no exception. Perhaps the most famous resident is the Bornean orangutan. These great apes share nearly 97% of their DNA with humans and spend most of their lives high in the forest canopy. Unlike African apes that often travel in groups, orangutans are largely solitary. A mature male may control a vast territory, while females carefully raise their young for up to 8 years before the offspring become independent. This incredibly long childhood is one reason orangutan populations recover slowly when threatened. But orangutans are only the beginning. The forests also provide habitat for agile gibbons, whose haunting songs echo across the morning forest; proboscis monkeys, famous for their unusual noses; clouded leopards, among Southeast Asia's most elusive predators; sun bears, the world's smallest bear species; civets, porcupines, and dozens of smaller mammals. Look to the sky and you'll find another icon of Borneo: the hornbill. These spectacular birds play a crucial role in seed dispersal. As they consume fruits and travel across large distances, they help regenerate the rainforest. Scientists have recorded hundreds of bird species throughout Central Kalimantan, making the region a paradise for bird watchers. And then there are the creatures many visitors never notice: thousands of insect species, colorful butterflies, frogs, reptiles, fungi, and microorganisms form an intricate web of life beneath the towering trees. Every fallen leaf, every stream, and every patch of soil contributes to an ecosystem of astonishing complexity. Standing at the edge of the wilderness in Punggualas, it's easy to understand why scientists and conservationists consider this region so important. This is more than just a beautiful rainforest. It is a living archive of evolution, a refuge for endangered species, a source of clean water, a storehouse of carbon, and a homeland for indigenous communities. In a world where untouched wilderness is becoming increasingly rare, places like Punggualas remind us what our planet once looked like and what is still worth protecting. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of Borneo. If you enjoyed this expedition, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow nature lovers. Until next time, stay curious, respect nature, and keep exploring.